Here's the problem as I see it. I think I can sum it up right now. My problem with Steven Moffat and his version of Doctor Who. When he takes it seriously, he's pretty good. Not always. Some of the things he does fall flat, but he's pretty good. He's largely competent. When he tries to be funny, he is god-awful. The man has the sense of humor of an 8th grader. He does not know what's funny. He has no sense of comedic timing whatsoever. He resorts to bargain bin sight gags and sound gags. There is a scene in this episode in which Doctor Who, played by Peter Capaldi, is knocked unconscious with a cartoon sound effect, sort of a bling thing. And later, Strax, one of the Paternoster gang, because that's Steven Moffat's action figure, said he really loves these guys, even though they're kind of stupid. Strax, who's this dumb comic relief character, he performs an examination on Clara with a mind reading device. It's the Dr. Zoidberg routine. He's like, well, Earthling, it seems that it's time for us to investigate your exoskeleton. What? Human beings do not have exoskeletons? You're a boy, but you're really a girl. I can't tell because I'm an alien. Derp, derp, derp. I'm so sick of Moffat trying to be funny. It doesn't work. He's not funny. It's awful. Whenever Steven Moffat tries to be whimsical, it's okay. He can pull off whimsy when it's balanced by serious storytelling. When he tries to be funny, it's so awful. It's some of the worst comedy I've ever seen. There's a scene where Madame Vastra gets out of her coach and clicks it shut. She locks it with a remote locking mechanism, and it does the sound that cars make, the beep beep sound that cars make when you lock them, because it's funny, right? There's a crotch shot joke in this episode. Clara is trying to kick the sonic screwdriver up to the Doctor because, see, they were both tied to chairs, and he wiggles his sonic screwdriver out, and for some reason he can't drop it in his own lap. No, he throws it down to Clara so that she can kick it back up to him, and we don't see this happening, but it's inferred that she hits his crotch by mistake somehow when he's in a sitting position. Like, did I do that? Who? Like, where did Moffat get his sense of humor? I could go on and on about how unfunny Steven Moffat is, but he insists on trying. He keeps trying to be the funny Doctor Who guy. He's not. Someone find this guy and tell him that he's not funny. And he keeps trying. Why does he keep trying so hard to be funny? Strax isn't funny. The potato-headed alien man, he's not funny. Maybe he'll have his moments. Maybe we'll get a chuckle out of him here and there, but it's so out of place. I just want this show to grow up again. I'm so sick of this Saturday morning rigmarole. And I say that only as a reference to a stereotype. Real Saturday morning cartoons are better than this. Yeah, this episode was terrible. It was so awful. It was unstructured. It was scattered all over the place. The first part of the episode just focused on Madame Vastra, and in a post on YouTube not long ago, I said how I wished that she had more time so that her character could be developed. And, it kind of was developed a little more, sort of. That was kind of okay, except they were taking time away from the Doctor. It wasn't Doctor Who anymore, it was the Madame Vastra show. Why can't they just get their own damn program, instead of horning in on the Doctor's shtick? And like I said, there are huge plot holes in Madame Vastra's setup. She goes around, she goes into the spiel. Did I just say that word twice? Spiel? That's a good word. She talks about how she only wears a veil because that's what people expect, and she condemns people who expect her to, who judge her by her face, but she takes it off every chance she gets. In Victorian London, there's a dinosaur in the Thames, and I'm pretty sure it's bigger than... Why doesn't anyone remember this? we're supposed to believe that Madame Vastra, a lizard woman who does not hide herself to any appreciable degree, she whips off the veil every chance she gets and tells everyone she meets that she's a prehistoric lizard woman married to her maid. She tells everyone exactly who she is, and no one remembers her. It's covered up by the legend of Sherlock Holmes. What the hell? Where's Torchwood? Are we just forgetting that they're supposed to exist at this time period in particular? No one cares. There's no records of the dinosaur in the Thames. And there's the monster of the week that the Doctor stumbles upon. Never showed up before, even though supposedly it's a coalition of robots that's been operating since the dawn of time. It just runs into it there by a series of coincidences. Okay, Peter Capaldi, when he was allowed to be serious, instead of, the clown doctor, which Moffat really seems to think works, which it doesn't. When he's allowed to be serious and sober and quiet, it works. And when he's allowed to be intense, I really start to get into his character. Those were the best parts, where he was just allowed to sit down and treat things like an adult. Whenever it slipped into the comedy or the action movie beats, it fell apart. Like when he's traipsing through London in his nightshirt. I just want this show to be something I can respect again, alright? When Moffat took over, I thought that it would be a good thing. I was looking forward to it. Well, I really miss Russell T Davies now. Okay, I can admit when I was wrong. Moffat has great talent. He made some of the best episodes of Doctor Who, but that was when there was another team to rein him in. He didn't have the freedom to do whatever he wanted. Now he's running all over the kitchen, doing whatever he wants. He's not funny. I want him to stop trying to be funny. Every one of those jokes in this episode makes me want to punch someone in the face. Strax giving Oswin a medical exam. He doesn't know that she's a girl. He calls her a boy all the time. Because it's funny. Derpa 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 derp. That's all I get from Strax all the time. It's derpa 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 derp. There's no character to him. He's a stupid comedy bit that ran out of steam years ago. I really want someone to take over this show from Moffat. I don't want him to be in charge anymore, because it gets harder and harder to stick with it every season. And I used to be one of his biggest supporters. The man's got gifts. He can craft elegant, intricately weaved stories really well. The tricks he pulls with time travel are really clever, and something that's been missing in Doctor Who for a long time. But he just keeps trying. This show has terminal whimsy. And it falls at the expense of logic. Plot holes open up like sinkholes in the landscape. Capaldi's talking to some homeless dude. And the homeless dude, oh, you're frightening me, sir. Oh, I'd like to leave now. Why don't you run away, you stupid homeless man? Just run away, all right? The guy in the nightshirt is creeping you out, so don't just stand there waffling. Oh, why are you being so creepy, Mr. Nightshirt Man? Oh, just run away. The scenes drag on and on. The plot doesn't hold together. The action scenes where Madame Vastra and Ginny flip down from the ceiling somehow. I guess it was an open ceiling. How did they get in there? They do ninja stuff, and there's all these robots with knives around them, and none of them... That's my review! And did I forget to mention the giant testicle balloon? Yeah, that's what I call it. It's a giant balloon that the bad guys try to escape in, and it's made out of flesh, apparently. Their escape pod. It's like something straight out of Monty Python. Very British. Why couldn't they use cloth? If this escape pod, all they meant to do was lift up out of the building, why did they need skin? Cloth exists. The doctor asks, how could you possibly repair the escape pod? You used human skin? Why is this rash of spontaneous combustions just being noticed now if these robots have been operating for since... I'm tired. You know what I was saying? When the bad guy died, we see his top hat floating down, and I was saying, he's not going to be impaled on top of Big Ben. He's not going to be impaled on top of Big Ben. We pan up over the face of Big Ben. He's not going to be impaled on Big Ben. He's not going to be impaled on Big Ben. All the way up to the top of Big Ben, he's impaled on Big Ben. Okay, you know what? I take it back. Moffat is really funny when he thinks he's being profound. Moffat does clever, alright? Profound, that's hit or miss. And they are really proud of this robot, by the way, this automaton, the clockwork cyborg, because they keep zooming in and holding on all the gears working in his head. Yes, it's really impressive, okay? And it was really neat the first 5 or 6 times they did. And hey, Madame Vastra apparently eats another person within the time frame of this episode. That's her thing, okay? Another completely unmemorable facet of her existence that everyone's going to forget about. She eats people. Yeah, you never read about that in Sherlock Holmes, did you? She lures criminals to her home where she eats them. And this is played for laughs. The Doctor has gone out of his way to stop people from killing criminals in the past. Why is this not supposed to matter? They totally play it off. It's nothing. Ginny, the maid, she just, oh, you might not want to go into the dining room because Madame Vastra is going to be eating someone. That's horrible. She is murdering someone. Why does she get a free pass? Why? Okay, no, I'm done. I'm really done this time. I did like the opening credits sequence, inspired by a fan thing done on YouTube, which I always liked. That was fun.